So when you're doing the pull-aparts, I want your thumbs up to start and then out, right across the mid portion of your chest. Hey, what's up guys? Gary Walker here with Live Anabolic, and welcome back for another video. All right, this video is very important because this is all about things you can do to save your shoulders, prevent shoulder injuries. All right, and some of you guys may already have lingering pains in your shoulders. You can do some of these things to help offset some of that pain. All right, the first thing you need to realize though is you gotta make sure you're working on your mobility. All right, mobility is going to be the key. One of the biggest issues I have when I start working with older men is they tend to lack mobility in most of their joints. And that's natural, it's just part of aging. You don't use your full range of motion as often as you used to. All right, so I'm gonna show you some different mobility exercises that you need to be incorporating weekly into your routines. It doesn't always take long. You can do a few of these exercises prior to doing all your upper body days, and that will make a huge difference, all right? If you're not working out, you just wanna do some of these mobility drills, do that as well. So you can do them at your convenience, but just make sure you are doing them. All right, with that said, the very first mobility thing we're gonna do requires nothing but your body weight, all right? These are side to front lateral raises. I actually incorporate those as an exercise into most of my shoulder programs. However, we usually use some type of resistance when we're doing them. With this mobility exercise, the key to doing it without weight is just using this exercise to generate blood flow within the shoulders. So basically, side, go to the front and back down. All right, it's a side to front lateral raise. You're gonna do a couple of these and think, oh my God, this is way too easy. I need to grab some weights. All right, but what I want you to do, nice and slow, focus on a full range of motion, and then you're gonna do 20 to 25 of those. All right, so side, down, up to the front, back, side, and down. That's one. All right, so that's how you count your reps. So 20 to 25 of those. And again, the key, you're gonna feel some blood in your shoulders. It may burn a little bit. You may be getting a little lactic acid, depending on how your shoulders are as far as, are they in shape? Are they immobile, you know, to where you can't really do that comfortably? So basically your goal, you're getting blood flow and synovial fluid in the joints, which is a lubrication fluid that's gonna lubricate those joints. So you wanna do that, again, prior to doing all of your shoulder exercises, all of your chest exercises, and even back exercises. Anytime you're pulling, you're working your shoulders. Anytime you're pressing vertically, you're working your shoulders, and horizontally, you're working your shoulders. So your shoulders move in so many different directions, which again is why you tend to have a lot of lingering issues over the years because of all the natural things that you do in life, all right? So the first exercise is that simple. The second thing I want you to do, there's one of two ways to do it. This is with a very light resistance band. Okay, so basically you're gonna get a light resistance band just to generate a little tension in your shoulders. And what we're gonna do, these are called banded, hence the band, pull-aparts. So when you're doing the pull-aparts, I want your thumbs up to start and then out, right across the mid portion of your chest. Straight back in. Thumbs up and out. All right, this position is gonna create external rotation of the humerus, which is gonna allow for a little more clearance in your shoulder. So this should actually feel pretty good when you do this. All right, and shoot for 12 to 15 reps here. The thing about the resistance band when you do these is the closer your hands are together, the more resistance that's gonna generate. I don't want you using a whole lot here. So it's okay to get a little bit wider, a little outside the shoulders if you need to. Right in front of your body, and then up and out. Nice and slow, come back in, up and out. All right, again, do your 12 to 15 repetitions here, and then rest about 20 seconds, and then you can do it again. I'm gonna recommend 3 sets of this. So you got a little bit of blood flow from the first exercise. Now that the blood flow's in there, now we're really trying to loosen up those shoulders a little bit and create some tension in the shoulders, all right? The next thing we're gonna do is called a banded shoulder dislocate. 2 different things you can do depending on your current mobility. So when you're doing a banded shoulder dislocate, again, you want to hold it with the same amount of width, and you're going to go over your head and back. Nice and slow, just like this. Right back to about chin level and come back. All right, 2 reps, nice and slow, 3 reps, nice and slow, 4 reps. All right, here's the thing with this. Not everybody has the mobility to just start right out with the band. If that's where you're at, then let's go more to a beginner movement, all right? So the first thing I want you to do is, again, using that same external rotation, we're gonna just do a broad circle back, broad circle forward, broad circle back, circle forward. Since we don't have that resistance and we don't have that band, we're not limiting the tension here, all right? So we're basically able to just open up as much as we can. If that's even difficult for you to go back and forward, if you're feeling that, you're feeling the shoulder clicking's okay, all right? But if it's hurting, that's a different issue, all right? So if that's hurting you to do that, then what we wanna do is just do some shoulder circles. So all the way back, just like this. You're gonna do some backward shoulder circles and then forward shoulder circles. So you'll notice the range of motion isn't near as great as coming all the way back and down and then all the way up and forward, all right? That's a great range of motion. If you're not there yet, then let's just lower the range of motion here, limit that range of motion, and just do these circles. You're gonna wanna do about 15 backwards, 15 forwards. All right, right after that, 15 backwards again, 15 forwards. So you'll do 2 sets of each, back and then forward. So after you do that, your shoulders should feel a whole lot better, all right? They're gonna be, once again, full of blood, and then the synovial fluid, which is gonna help lubricate those joints. So that's the first thing I want you to do. That's the first tip. Second tip when you're working shoulders. This one's key because if you're a typical guy, you wanna lift heavy weights, all right? Heavy is relative to everybody. What's heavy for you may be light for others. What's heavy for you may be way too heavy for someone else. So it just depends on the individual. But here's what I want you to focus on. Form over the weight. So, and that's all of the natural shoulder exercises, meaning if you're doing a shoulder press, all right, overhead shoulder press, and you can do 50 pounds, but you're thrusting it up, dropping it down, thrusting it up, dropping it down, then you're not controlling the weight. And that can lead to more damage, can lead to injuries, all right? So to prevent that, I want you to really focus on feeling the muscle when you're doing the exercise. So for a shoulder press, basically choose a weight that you can raise under control, and then 3 seconds on the eccentric, which is lowering the weight. 1001, 1002, 1003, slight pause, raise it back, 1001, 1002, 1003. All right, use that cadence when you're doing every single rep. That's gonna allow you to control that weight and make sure your delts are doing all of the lifting and you're not using momentum and you're not cheating yourself. All right, because that's when you get injured, when you start using a lot of momentum within those movements. All right, so anytime you're doing a shoulder press, that's how I want you to control it. Now, one of the other more common shoulder exercises is a lateral raise. Straight out to the side, straight down, straight out to the side, straight down. All right, when you're doing a lateral raise, don't be surprised if you can use 5 pounds and get great benefits instead of the 15, 20, 25 pounds that a lot of people try to do. I've had guys I've worked with tell me, Gary, I'm using these 20-pound dumbbells and they're just really heavy, but I know I need to get stronger. Why? You don't need to get stronger, all right? 20 to 25 pounds on laterals is a ton of weight. All right, so when you're doing the laterals, what we're doing is working the medial delts, the side muscle. It doesn't require a whole lot of weight when you're doing those. So if you need to use 5 pounds, use 5 pounds. If you can do 10, then go up to 10, but there's no need to use heavy weight. The main thing you really need to focus on is, again, controlling the movement, coming right out to the side, and lower that weight under control. Raise it out to the side, 1001, 1002, 1003. Out to the side, 1001, 1002, 1003. Use that kind of cadence with that as well, and that's gonna eliminate any of that momentum that can lead to injuries. Do that with all your shoulder exercises, and you're gonna start feeling your shoulders doing the work more than your elbows or your triceps or everything else that doesn't need to be involved in the lift. All right, the third tip. This one is keeping your shoulders strong, but also make sure you're working all three heads of your shoulder, meaning the front portion of your shoulder is the anterior delt, then the rear is the posterior delt, and then the side, like I mentioned just a while ago, is the medial delt. So you want to focus on hitting all three areas of your shoulder. So choose exercises that are going to isolate all three areas, and that's going to prevent any imbalances that can lead to more injuries, all right? So basically what that means is anytime you're doing an overhead press, majority of what you are working is the anterior delt, the front. You're touching a little bit of all three heads when you do that, but the front delt gets the brunt of the load. Anytime you're doing those side lateral raises, you're working more of the side delt. Again, okay? Let me stress though, most of these exercises, you're working a little bit of each head, but you want to isolate each head. That's what I'm saying. Lateral raise isolates the medial, make sure you're doing that. And then face pulls. Face pulls are great for shoulder strength, shoulder health, and that also works the posterior head, the back of the shoulders. All right, so if you're incorporating exercises to work all three of those, then your shoulders are gonna be strong from all three of those heads. When you're pushing away, you're pushing forward, you're lifting, anytime you're moving anything using your shoulder joints, all three heads are gonna be strong, and that's gonna keep you feeling better and keep your shoulders healthy and safe. So if you have any questions, man, about any of these, comment below and let me know. But make sure you're doing these things and really pay attention to this, because most of the guys I coach, guys 40 to 80 years old, a lot of them have current shoulder issues, have had shoulder surgeries in the past, or have dealt with some type of lingering shoulder issue. So it's one of the most common joints, and it's extremely vulnerable. So make sure you're doing everything necessary to prevent any further injuries. With that said, man, that's all that I got. Get busy, get after it, and God bless.